Hello from the aptly named White Sands National Park. So this is one of the more recent national parks. It only got parkhood in 2019, and I guess it's so new that several of the signs coming in and even one out in front of the visitor center still say National Monument. It used to be a national monument. We just started the Dunes Life Trail, and this is kind of our first view of them. And it looks really cool. We're here nearing sunset. That is one of the things that the park is known for. You're supposed to, if you can, come out at either sunrise or sunset to see the light on the dunes, and it's supposed to be really beautiful. So we have about an hour until that happens. There are actually only a handful of trails to do at this park though. That is another kind of unique thing. I think there's only 3 or 4. Wow. It's actually pretty compact to walk on. It's not like climbing sand, because this is actually gypsum. I'll show you close. I went to Roswell earlier today. Yeah, it's a lot cooler than sand as well. It's called the Dune Life Trail because you're supposed to have a chance or opportunity to see some wildlife. I guess these are our options. So far we've only seen a very large beetle. A lot of these plants are flowering all over the place, and I'm not sure what they are, not being from here. But yeah, you can see there's like a bunch off that way. They're all over. This is the end of May. I feel like it's yucca, but what do I know? Alright, prepare to be terrified of a creature you've never heard of before. This is the tarantula hawk. When this wasp finds a tarantula away from its lair, a death match begins. If she wins, she paralyzes the spider and lays 1 egg inside it. She drags it to her hideout and seals it underground. After hatching, the young wasp eats the spider from inside out. Yeah, I used to know a girl like that. Illuminating the dead bugs on the windshield. It's beautiful. Wow, it's turning just pink and blue. Sun's just going down, and I don't know if you can see it, but someone's flying a huge kite way up there. The sky is super, super orange, and the sand has turned blue, and the mountains have turned blue. Beautiful. So I mentioned earlier that this white sand is actually made of gypsum. Layers and layers of it were left here from an ancient sea that retreated millions of years ago. And now we're gonna go sledding on it, just as nature intended. That is one of the things that you can do here. That's like one of the attractions. I guess because it's gypsum, one of the benefits is that it's firmer and you can actually sled on it. And they have these sleds at the visitor center. Though we were really lucky because we were just pulling out of the parking lot, and there was a guy there who was on his way out and he didn't need them, so he was like, hey, you guys want some sleds? So we got them for free, and then we'll try and hand them off to, you know, some kids that are over here before we go, pass it on. And he also gave us this wax, which I suppose you're supposed to use on the bottom, and it helps you go faster. Waxing up my board, man. Gonna hit the dunes.
And
I didn't put enough wax on. is a beautiful end to the day, but not to the end of the video, because we're staying tonight in a somewhat ominously named town called Truth or Consequences. Yes, Truth or Consequences. Locals call it T or C. Apparently back in the 50s, there was a radio quiz show called Truth or Consequences. It was pretty popular, and they had a contest that on their 10th anniversary, they would air the show from whatever town would rename itself Truth or Consequences after the show. So this town that we're staying at tonight renamed itself from Hot Springs, New Mexico to Truth or Consequences. And I read that the broadcaster host of the show for the next 50 years came out and visited the town once a year, so I thought that was really cool. And besides, there are many towns in the US named Hot Springs, but there's only one, Truth or Consequences. So it's a much cooler name anyway. Well, everyone's packing up, dragging their sleds back to the parking lot, so I suppose we should head out too. Wow, now that it's nighttime, doesn't it look like snow?
Oh yeah, it does.
I feel like it looks like we're just driving through a Minnesotan winter.
Yeah, that's weird.
But it's like 76 degrees out. All right, we've arrived at our room at Blackstone Hot Springs. This one is the studio. So we have a kitchen, and then here's our bed. And then the only other room leading off is the bathroom with this ginormous tub. So we'll have natural hot spring water coming in right through here. And we're currently debating if it's too late to take a soak, or is it? Good morning. We had a nice long soak when we got up. Now we've come along to Passion Pie Cafe for breakfast. I got the pecan waffle. That was the waffle du jour. And my partner got the Elvis waffle. They also had one called the Fat Elvis waffle that had bacon in the waffle as well. And can't come to somewhere with pie in the title without getting a pie. So we got the cherry chili pie. Everything in there was really good, actually. Low-key went up and got a quiche because I was super hungry. Yeah, we're just walking around TRC now. This is actually a really cute little hot springs town. There's lots of art galleries and kind of artsy looking little stores. It's Monday, it's Memorial Day today, so not as many of them are open, but it's still fun to look around and see the facades because it's also colorful. After this, we are just headed to Riverbend Hot Springs. We're going to have a soak. We have a timed like 1 hour in one of their private pools, but it's going to be especially exciting because it overlooks the Rio Grande River. And yeah, I don't think there's too many of those. So yeah, we're looking forward to that, and then we're headed back to the airport. That was a really nice soak. It was so hard to leave. But like I was saying before, you know, you don't have to stay here. You can book a private soak for an hour, and you can even do longer actually if you want. You could book half the day, but you can also go to their public pools as well. It's a little bit cheaper, but really for 1 hour at a private pool, it was only, I want to say around $35. So I would say that's a pretty good deal. But I think the public pool also has kind of that same view of the Rio Grande, but you can't be naked. We were in number 2, it was called Apache, and you can book it, and I would advise you to book it by the water temperature. The one that we were in was a more mild-ish one. It was around 103 and they had a bucket that you could pull for it, kind of like a cold plunge, and it would also cool down the pool a little bit. But yeah, we already would want to come back, and we think it'd be really nice to do a nighttime soak as well, because all the stars would be out. It'd be beautiful. So yes, I would definitely return, and just in general, I'd like to come back to Truth or Consequences. This was a really cool town. I know it sort of sounds like a folk horror town where they sacrifice outsiders to keep the hot springs hot, but that doesn't appear to be the case. We are still here, and I would definitely come back. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end this video because we're pretty much just heading back to the airport now. But I will be back. New Mexico was really fabulous. I actually was saying that I think I like this even more than some of the other Southwest states, because this is actually the last one that I needed to come to. I've been to pretty much every state around New Mexico, but it was my first time here. So see you in the next one. Maybe for more New Mexico, who knows? Bye.